Hi Capricorn, this reading is for you and 2019. Are you excited to know what your year holds for you? Okay, before we get started, it is a general reading, okay? For all Capricorns everywhere. Anyone who watches it that's a Capricorn is pretty much going to have some sort of something that's happening for your year, okay? If you want your own reading, you're going to have to buy your own reading. Personalized to you. We're not even going to go with that word, okay? All right. So, if you're new to my videos, if you're new to my reading, I shuffled the deck before the camera starts, but I cut the deck in front of you, okay? So, we're going to go ahead and cut the deck. And I don't like that one. Hold on. I know where it's screaming at me, but I can't get it. There we go. Okay, so the deck has been cut. Having some trouble talking today. All right, so I'm going to pull the top cards, okay? I'm going to put them in a line. We're going to do 4, and then we're going to do 4, and we're going to do 4 for a total of 3 trimesters for your year, okay? Then I will move each card like over here, so that way we can zoom in and see the pictures. But let's get started. January, February, March, and April, okay? May, June, July, and August, sorry. Okay. September, October, November, and December. Alrighty. So, we've got your 12 cards, right? Now, I'm going to give you a little bit more information. Capricorn, if your zodiac sign is a Capricorn, that is your sun sign, okay? So you're going to want to watch this video. But anybody who is a moon Capricorn, your moon sign is Capricorn, you are a rising or an ascendant. They're the same meaning, it's just 2 different words but from 2 different schools of thought. If your rising or ascendant is a Capricorn, you're going to want to watch this video. If anybody important to you is a Capricorn in any one of those 3 signs, you'd probably want to watch this video. Now, Cappy, if you are, let's for example say, a Capricorn with a Taurus moon and a Virgo rising, you're going to want to watch all 3, okay? It will give you more information. Or you can just watch your Capricorn, whatever is good and cool for you, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with January, of course, right? Okay, so we're turning it and we're coming over here. You have the full moon for your January 2019. The full moon is completion. It's giving us that keyword to there. Okay, so throughout 2018, people have been like, it just dragged me through the trenches. It was the worst year ever. So all of that stuff was helping you grow. Okay, and I know you don't want to hear that. You're like, I hate you already. I'm going to turn off the video. Go ahead if you want. I can't force you to watch it, but I'm pretty sure you'll like to hear the rest. Okay, so that was forcing you to grow. It was making you grow. It was an uphill struggle. And if we take a look at this tree really took a beating throughout 2018. But the full moon means it's done. It's reached its completion. Okay? So even though you might not be at the top of that uphill struggle, we could say the summit, the top is just right here. Okay? Or this might even be the summit. It's done. All of that stuff is over. Let it go. Accept your lessons. Realize how you learned. And let's get on with 2019. Okay? So what I'm telling you is quit saying 2018 sucked. Okay, let's start fresh. We're in a new year. Let's do the new year. Okay, February 2019 is instinct. All right, now I really love that instinct, and this wolf came right after the full moon. Okay, I'm going to put this moon up here like this for a minute. And you know what? Let's do that. Do you see that? That uphill struggle that's behind that wolf, he already got to the top. He already finished it. It's done and over with. He came back down. He's ready to move on. Okay, but what does the wolf do to the full moon? He howls at it. It's a way of communicating, okay? So, a lot of people will say, like, the full moon causes the wolves to do it, like, creates this werewolf aspect, and yeah, but no. There has been a couple of studies done that say that because of the light from the full moon, wolves hunt much differently. And the howling at the full moon is not really howling at the full moon. It's howling within the pack that's separated a little bit, because if 5 different wolves come up to something that they're hunting, in the full moon, you're going to see it. They can't hunt the same way. They separate out. So the howling is kind of like, hey, dude, I'm over here. Yeah, dude, I'm over here. Okay, so who's closest to the prey? You know, it's that sort of thing. All right. But that full moon, it represents your instinct. And this card says instinct. And the wolf, your animalistic instinct. What are you doing for February? Huh, Cappy, what's going on in February? Now let's take a look at the card for a little bit more information, because I've got this little voice in my head saying that you are all about the romance, and you're all about the fertility, and you're all about the sex in February. But let's just look for a little bit, okay? So we've got water that is turned into ice. Your emotions are a little bit cold, so that sex aspect could be really, really good for heating that up. We've got some fog, which would be your thought process. Your thoughts are kind of getting kind of down and out, right? Sex would be really good for that. So, what's going on with your instincts? Are your instincts moving you towards the sex aspect? Is this a way to get you to warm up? Is this a way to get your thoughts back out of the trenches? Because honestly, your thoughts might be in the trenches. That's what that full moon was telling you. Get out of it. Let's go. It's done. It's over. Let's move. Okay? So, who have you been cold to throughout the past, I don't know how many months? Who do you need to warm up with throughout February? It could be a very romantic relationship. It could be a very sexual relationship. It could be something like you were kind of cold to your kids, to your family, to your pack, and it's time for you to warm up again, okay? Being in February where it's all about love and romance, I think that's a really great idea. So right now, as you're watching this, and then in February, what are you going to do to warm up your pack? What are you going to do to tighten those bonds? March. Vitality and an erupting volcano. Okay, so passion, lust, passion. We like to see it as an erupting volcano. You just can't control it anymore. It's just exploding and it's burning and it's amazing, right? Anger is the same thing. It's destructive. It's burning. It hurts the people who are closest to the explosion. It's explosive. So, in March, what is your energy doing? What are you doing? Are you trying to really warm up relationships? And that's very possible, because look at this couple here in this smoke. Are you trying to warm up relationships? Or are you trying to bust up relationships? There is 100% honest, go for it destruction if it's going to help create. Now, if this destruction is within a relationship, you probably don't want to explode at that person, because it's going to hurt them and they're not going to be able to recreate. It's always going to be in their mind. You exploded, you hurt me, you burned me, whatever, right? But if it's a situation, something that's all you can completely destroy it, break it up, and create something brand new. The volcano here doesn't really show that, but that lava, when it cools, when it creates ash, it puts in okay, so the lava doesn't really create ash. The smoke creates ash. The lava creates lava stone. And lava stone is used because of its healing properties, okay? So you have the option with the smoke, with the ash that puts in different nutrients into the ground that might be missing, with the lava stone that causes healing. You have the option to like burn stuff down and create new. But be very careful with where you use this option in March, okay? April. Let's see what April has in store for you, Cappy. Nurturing. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up here for just a second. 2018 is done. You got through it. Let it go. Accept the lessons. Let's move on. Now we have pack instinct. We've got warming up relationships. We have recreating again. We have building afresh. We have some things have to go in order to build. And then we have nurturing. Okay? So throughout all of this first trimester, you need to be nurturing no matter what you're doing. If you're trying to warm up your pack, your family, you're trying to warm up a romance, you're trying to create a sexual romance with a lot of passion, whatever it is. If you're starting to, well, all of that has to do with nurturing, right? If you want to destroy something, so that way you have room for something new, or be able to give it healing, so that way it can grow again, it needs to be done in a nurturing way. But in April, it's all about the nurturing. What are you focusing on? What are you giving your time to? Who are you nurturing? What are you nurturing? Are you nurturing yourself also? There are so many questions that are being asked here that you need to really, really, really focus for a little while. So you might need to take a step back and decide what you want. So we have Mother Earth. We have Gaia here. And she is blowing out nurturing air, nurturing energy onto the earth. But take a look at what she's doing also. She's decided here, it needs some new color. It needs some growth. It needs some rainbows. It needs some happiness. Here, it needs green. It needs flowers. It needs life. What is she doing with her breath? We really don't know right now, but I would say maybe a spring showers to bring May flowers, right? She is deciding what needs to be nurtured, how it needs to be nurtured, and how she wants to create it. This is your option too in April, okay? It should be something you're paying attention to throughout the full first part of the year, but it's also really important in April. Let's see what May has in store after all of that nurturing. Generations. Okay, so we've got circles, circle of life. Sometimes we have good stuff, sometimes we've got bad stuff. Sometimes there's life, births, sometimes there's death. If we think of that volcano, right, and we think of death, we've got to kill some things off. We have to move some things. We have to get them out of the way so that way new stuff can grow. This is pretty much what this card is still saying. What are you still nurturing? What are you still growing? What are you still creating? That snake. Snakes are associated with intelligence, with instinct, with understanding. Okay? So within your family, within your generations, within your ancestors, what do you want to change? Are there any traditions? Maybe there's Mother's Day tradition that you want to change. And you can't really change it with your grandma and your mom because they're not willing to, but you can change it with your children. You can add new traditions into your family. Maybe you're getting married and it's adding your husband's Mother's Day traditions into your family. Do you see what I'm saying? There's so much growth and nurturing that we understand from the way our ancestors have taught us, but we also can change it. We can nurture it. We can make it better. Okay? In May, this is something that you should be thinking about. Also, if you're going to be thinking about how you're going to be nurturing relationships, that's something very important for in this time frame where it's like holiday time frame. If there's something you want to change and you know you want to change it, right now is the time to start talking about it. Start putting it into place. June. Grounding. Okay, so your instincts, your emotions, all of this creation has been going crazy for the first part of the year, right? Have you been grounding? Have you been stabilizing yourself? Have you taken the time to center yourself? Or are you just, do you feel like you're constantly floating? You're constantly go, 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 go. You're not taking care of yourself. It's important for you to take care of yourself. It's important for you to self-love, self-care. What does that mean to you? It can mean you sit down every weekend and you have 1 hour of reading, whatever it is that you love to read. You have 1 hour every weekend to watch your show. You have 1 hour every weekend to go to the coffee shop and just enjoy your coffee in quiet. Well, probably not quiet because the coffee shop isn't quiet, but it wouldn't have like your normal distractions. You have 1 hour every month where you take a spa treatment, you get a manicure, you get a pedicure, whatever self-healing and self-love and self-care is to you, make sure you're doing this, okay? Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're staying grounded, especially since it's right underneath that frozen card where it's instinct taking care of your pack. You are part of your pack. If you're the mom, you're most likely the alpha of the pack you need to be taken care of. July. Solitude. So, you probably did not take my advice for June. You did not do something to help refresh yourself. You did not take time to ground. You did not take time to self-love. You're going to need it now. Because if not, you've got storms brewing like crazy. And I want you to look that this card was right under that volcano card, that vitality card, that anger, that eruption, that explosion. Do not explode around your family. Do not cause that sort of situation for your family, okay? Get yourself somewhere where you can be angry without hurting anybody, without emotionally or mentally abusing anybody. Get yourself where you can sit down and reflect, where you can understand what's going on, why you're so angry, why you're so upset, why haven't you been taking care of yourself? Okay, Capricorn? August. Unfoldment and the lotus flower. Okay, lotus flowers are considered the most spiritual of all flowers. They represent enlightenment. They represent spirituality. They pretty much represent like an angelic realm. Why? Because the lotus flower grows in the crappiest situations ever. We see some water here, and yeah, there's some water on the top surface of this, but this is mostly mud, like a clay, rocky, disgusting mud. Nothing else grows in this area. But the lotus, it succeeds here. This is where it thrives. It has to get through all of this thick, goopy grossness in order to be able to bloom. And it's got, I don't remember exactly how much it is. I think it's like maybe 2-3 feet of a stem from the roots up to the bloom that is in pure mud. It has to fight its way to bloom. Okay? So let's take a look at this. Sorry, I bumped you. You've been really, really kind of fighting yourself in these 2 months. Why? How can you use that to understand your enlightenment? How can you use that to make yourself better? Okay? So, first trimester of the year, we have, you need to be creating something new. You need to be warming up relationships that you've let get cold. You need to remove some stuff that no longer serves you. Remove some stuff that needs to either it's completely dead and it's just taking room, or you need to give healing to some things so that way you can create what you want to create. The next trimester, we have your ancestors, the way your ancestors reacted, the way your ancestors did things that you want to change. You're allowed to change them. We have you need, in these two, to really take care of yourself. Okay? And then we have that all of this crap you've gone through has caused enlightenment, has caused you to grow. It's let you bloom into this beautiful situation right here, okay? Now, let's take a look at the end of the trimester, or the end of the year, the last trimester. September. Karma and DNA. All right. I'm going to pull this card over here because when I pulled that card, this is what came to my mind. Let me bring this over here. The ancestors, right? Those snakes are the same damn snakes. Look at them. They might have a little bit of a different design, but it's the same damn snake. Those red rocks are the same red balls in this DNA. Same with the yellow things. Same damn thing. Where do we get our DNA from? We get our DNA from our ancestors, from the generations that we're coming from, right? There is a thing called family karma, DNA karma. And a lot of this has to do with how we react in certain situations, because we were trained by our family to react that way. The karma, our cause and reaction, okay, our action and reaction. Every action has an opposite and equal reaction, the law of motion. Cause and effect, all of this stuff we can have as our own, but we also have it as our ancestors. It's what we were taught, okay? So what you're tired of throughout 2018 was probably the way your family taught you to react to that, okay? The way you were shown to react to it when you were little. That volcano of exploding, because you haven't taken care of yourself, you need to get out of your own way, you need to get out of everybody else's way, don't hurt anybody. You've probably learned that through your ancestors. Maybe your father, or maybe your mom, every time she was pushed too far, she would just explode, and anyone who was nearby got part of the explosion. So you're carrying karma from being a 3-year-old girl where your mom screamed at you because you didn't clean up your Barbies. Do you see what I'm saying? All of the situations that you've been working with throughout this year, but also throughout last year, has to do with the way you were trained, the karma that you're carrying from your family. Now, you have the choice as to what you want to do with that karma. Do you want to consider it negative karma and try to fix it, try to delete it, try to erase it, try to make it better? Or do you want to consider it something that is, like how I was telling you here, what do you want to change? What do you want to change? You can message me and we can talk about changing your karma. Okay? October. New beginnings. Do you see how all of this I've been telling you is a way to create your new beginnings? Well, in October, it's taking effect. In October, you're able to start to see these changes that you've been making. You're going to see them within yourself. You're going to see them within your children, probably, within the way you're being treated. With all of this is going to start changing if you've put in the work and you haven't alienated anybody. Okay? Very important to remember. Do not alienate anybody. When you start to get to breaking point, remove yourself from hurting anybody. Okay? Emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, do not hurt anybody. All right, so your new beginnings, what do you have? Do you remember in the beginning of the year we had that you were like at the top, there were some mountains, but you were at the top of those mountains because of 2018? Well, you have taken your sweet time getting down those mountains, and now here you are coming down those mountains, okay? But in this particular case, because of how you were taking your time, how you were creating and nurturing, remember her? Creating and nurturing her area? Because of how you were doing that, taking your time, the grass is greener on this side than it was on the other side. Not because the grass is greener on the other side, but because you created this grass being greener. You did the work to make this grass be greener, and look at how beautiful it is. Okay? Good job, Capricorn. I am so proud of you. It's been hard, rough work, but it's been worth it. Okay, November. Before I read November, remember I was saying you can change your family traditions if you don't like them? Okay? Let's see what's going on in November. Focus and crystals. Crystals are very earth-based, but they're very spiritual. They heal. They have their own vibrations. They are able to do what you need them to do, but you're able to use what they do to help you, okay? So, in November, when you're starting to go nuts again, right? And the reason I'm going to say that you're going nuts is because we've got the volcano, we've got solitude, and then we have focus. What do you need to focus on? Most people, especially moms, are going to be focusing on all of the Thanksgiving and holiday preparations, all of the holiday preparation, or did I just say that? All of the holiday preparation? Sorry. All of the things that they need to do to make all of these memories for their family, right? And that makes a lot of moms cranky. That makes a lot of moms very likely to explode. So during November, you need to focus on your solitude. You need to focus on all of the things that you've been creating for your family. You need to focus on peace. You might not have the perfect 7-day Thanksgiving meal. And you know what? Maybe between you and your family, you decide you're going to go out for Thanksgiving. You're not cooking. You're not going to deal with that stress. Maybe you guys decide you're going to have some sort of weird frozen meal buffet day on Thanksgiving. You're not dealing with that stress. And the family goes, you know what? To see you happy, Mom, to see you happy, sweetheart, I'm willing to do anything you want. Because you need to be happy, right? Now, if the family isn't doing that, and they're going, oh, well, we really need to go with my mom, or we really need to see Mom. We have to go visit Grandma. Great-grandma always does this. We can't change that. Then you need to make sure that your focus is in a healing, good, safe place, okay? I would really prefer you doing the work throughout the year, how I've said, to change your ideas of what needs to be done for the holidays to keep you calm and happy. But there are family members that we also have to work with, okay? So maybe you compromise. Right now that it's January and you're watching this video and this is making sense to you and you're like, you know what? I hate Thanksgiving. I hate Christmas. I wish we could just make it more special. I wish it would be not so stress-free. Then right now is the time to start making those changes. Okay? December. The breaching whale. Whales breach for 2 reasons. One is to eat. So, Capricorn, what are you eating? What are you feeding yourself? And yes, I mean your food on this particular card with you. What are you feeding yourself? Are you eating pure junk all the time? Are you eating healthy? Are you eating a well-balanced diet? Are you doing what is called the 80-20? You eat healthy 80% of the time, and this could be 80% of the time during the day, and you're treating yourself 20% of the time. It could be 80% during the day you're eating healthy, and 20% of the day you're treating yourself. It could be 80% of the week you're eating healthy, and 20% of the time you're treating yourself. However you need to do it, you need to be very careful with what you're eating, okay? Second, what are you eating mentally, spiritually? Emotionally. Are you eating your words because you need to keep the peace? Are you eating your thoughts because you need to keep the peace? Are you allowing people to be abusive to you because you need to keep the peace? You are not a doormat. You do not need to keep the peace. It's best if you have the peace, but you don't need to keep it. If they're not willing to keep it, you don't have to swallow their crap, okay? Now, the second aspect of this card, what are you doing to have some fun? Because I don't think you are. What are you doing to enjoy yourself? I'm going to put this on top of August, so this way you see it. Remember, grounding, taking care of yourself, taking some time out, self-love. This card is telling you the same damn thing again. What do you do for yourself? What do you do to enjoy yourself? I think you've been letting it slip again. This card is telling us in December, especially when we become so stressed about the holidays and what is expected of us, take some time out and enjoy yourself. Okay? All right. Capricorn, as I've said, this reading is for all Capricorns. Capricorn Suns, Risings, Ascendants, Moons, all Capricorns. If you like the reading, but you're kind of like, you know what? I want a little bit more information about this. Or, I don't understand this quite so well. Or none of this makes real sense to me. I need to know what's going on for me, not for my sign. There's the information down below of how to contact me to get your own personalized reading, okay? If this is something that you loved the way I read, I click with you, and you need more information, or you need your own personalized reading, find me. Let's get this taken care of for you, okay? Now, if you liked the reading, we click, right? Hit that like button for me, please. hit the subscribe button. So that way you know when new readings are up. That way you know when your moon reading is up. That way you know when your sun or your rising reading is up. That way you know if I do some sort of special reading for February, you know where it's at. Okay? That, I'm probably doing a mini grounding lesson. You're going to want to watch that. Subscribe so that way you know when that goes live. All right? If you guys want to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, I'm not that active on Instagram, but if you want to follow me on all of those other places, go to the website, join the newsletter, whatever you guys want to do to hang out with me, to stalk me. I'm totally cool with that. All right? So Capricorn, thank you so much for this time that you've spent with me. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye.